Okay guys, it's high time we talked about Martín Zubimendi. In a summer when Arsenal signed some real attacking sensations like Viktor Gyökeres, Eberechi and Noni Madueke, it's no surprise that a defensive midfielder like Zubimendi went under the radar in the first few weeks of the season. But he has been quietly having a great season since he made his move to England in July, and we just cannot stay quiet about it. This is the scary truth about Martín Zubimendi nobody is noticing. First of all, we have to say that he's been good for years, but it is no surprise that many fans are just now taking note of him after he moved to the Premier League, which has a larger global viewership than La Liga. You see, a lot of people thought he'd struggle at Arsenal because this was the first time he was leaving, not just his country, but his community. He was born in San Sebastian in the Basque country in Spain, and he started his footballing career in a local club named Antiguoco at the age of 7. At 12, he moved to Real Sociedad, one of the two huge clubs in the Basque country, and it was there that he really made a name for himself. He was loaned back to Antiguoco in 2011, but when he returned to Sociedad in 2013, it was up and away from there for him. He made his La Liga debut in April 2019 at the age of 20, and that was his only league appearance that season. In the 2019-20 season, that number went up to 9 league appearances. In those games, he was so good that he quickly established himself as one of the club's most important players, going on to make 31 La Liga appearances and 41 appearances across all competitions in the 2020-21 season. Very importantly, in April 2021, he played the full 90 minutes in the Copa del Rey final against neighbouring rivals Athletic Club, helping Sociedad keep a clean sheet and win their first trophy in 37 years. He would continue to get better and more important for Sociedad in the coming seasons. He was always a rock at the base of the midfield and had the ability to easily connect defense and attack with his passing. Then in the 2021-22 season, he started to add goals to his game, scoring his first career goal for Sociedad against RB Leipzig in the knockout rounds of the Europa League in February 2022. The following month, he scored his first league goal. This one came against Deportivo Alaves, and it was enough to win Sociedad the game. He would go on to add another goal against Villarreal later in the season, which meant that he ended the season with 5 direct goal involvements. Not bad for a defensive midfielder at all. At this point, he started to draw a lot of comparison with some really legendary Spanish midfielders. We'll get into that in a second, but first, if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, go do that right now, so you never miss out on our amazing content. Now, between 2022 and 2024, Zubimendi quickly established himself as not only Sociedad's best midfielder, but one of the best defensive midfielders in the league. His composure, passing, ability to control the tempo of games, technicality, and ability in tight spaces started to draw comparisons with legends like Sergio Busquets, David Silva, and Xabi Alonso. Zubimendi's stocks rose to their highest at Euro 2024. It was his first major tournament for Spain, and of course, Rodri was ahead of him in the pecking order, so he didn't have a lot of minutes. But in the final against England, Rodri picked up an injury in the first half, which meant that Zubimendi got to play 45 minutes in the biggest game. For many fans, that was their first introduction to the midfielder, and he was very, very impressive. He controlled the tempo brilliantly, won 100% of his duels, made 3 tackles and completed 92% of his passes. It was an amazing half for him. Being chucked right into a major final like that is never easy for a young player, but Martín Zubimendi certainly gave a good account of himself that night against very tough opposition. After such a good performance which helped Spain win the Euros against England, it was no surprise that Liverpool tried to sign him that summer. The Reds had no out-and-out DM going into that season, and Zubimendi was seen as the perfect fit. He was going to be the next Xabi Alonso, they thought. From Antiguoco to Real Sociedad to Liverpool, it seemed like it was all written in the stars. At some point, it looked like that move was certainly going to happen, but he ended up rejecting Liverpool to remain at Sociedad. It's naturally very difficult to pull Basque players out of their home clubs, so that was the explanation everyone gave for him turning down a huge club like Liverpool. But guess what? Not long after, Arsenal came knocking and he immediately said yes. Perhaps it helped that Mikel Arteta is from the same hometown as Zubimendi, and also that he was going to reunite with his former Sociedad teammates in Ødegaard and Merino. Well, whatever the reason was, he decided to close the door to the Alonso fairy tale and made his move to Arsenal instead. But that hasn't really changed anything. Even though he didn't join Liverpool, he still reminds so many fans of Xabi Alonso. They're about the same height, from the same country and even city, and they have similar skill sets. The game against Nottingham Forest did a lot more to establish that fact. It showed that, just like Alonso, Zubimendi can also score a banger from outside the box. This is a top player for sure. No wonder Rodri had high praise for him, saying he has all it takes to be one of the best players in the world. And the thing with Zubimendi is that he doesn't sacrifice one thing for the other. Yes, he scored 2 goals and pretty much won the game for Arsenal against Forest, but he didn't neglect his defensive midfield duties. He had an 86% pass accuracy, created a chance, and completed 2 long balls. It was a proper man of the match performance from the Spaniard, just like watching Xabi Alonso in his prime. And if the similarities between the careers of Zubimendi and Alonso is anything to go by, then Arsenal fans have reason to be super excited. You see, Alonso started his career in Antiguoco, moved to Sociedad, got loaned out to a Spanish club, returned to Sociedad, and then later moved to the Premier League. Well, as we have established in this video today, that's the exact same path Zubimendi has followed. And guess what? Alonso won the UEFA Champions League in his first season in England, so yeah, Gooners really have reason to be very hopeful and excited this season. But guys, we can assure you that this is just the beginning. If you only started watching Zubimendi this season, you haven't even seen half of what he's capable of. He's only going to get better and better at the base of midfield, and considering that he's surrounded by top players at Arsenal, we're about to see his level go up a couple notches. Also, now that he seems to have added goals to his game, he's really about to become a complete player. What an asset Arsenal have got here. In a summer where they lost Thomas Partey and Jorginho, one could argue that this was the club's most important signing this summer. Now, we want to hear from you guys. What do you think about Martín Zubimendi? Where would you rank him in the list of best defensive midfielders in the Premier League? Top 5, top 10, or maybe even top 3? Let us know. Also, do you think he could be that player that gets Arsenal over the line when it comes to winning big trophies? Tell us what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye.
Oh, you've asked for it and we've finally delivered. Relive the glory days with the most iconic designs in football history. Whether you're a fan of classic club colours or legendary international strips, we've got something to ignite your nostalgia. Perfect for match days, casual wear, or adding to your collection. Shop the new retro range now at goal90.shop. Massive discounts await.